The Reckless Retiree here. Earlier today I gave you an update of my project. I've decided to give my furnace another try. As you can see, I've got it heated up red hot. I used a different pump. The pump I used before was for inflating toys, you know, for floats in the pool. This is too, but it's bigger. It's delivering more air and it's getting much hotter. So that was my main problem with heat, was I wasn't giving it enough air. So I've already, I had some material that I had mixed up with flux a long time ago. I put that in one of my medium-sized crucibles. I melted it. I poured it into the cone mold. I then broke it apart and took the metal from separating the metal from the flux. I then took the metal and put it in a cupel, which I have in my inside of my metal crucible, because I tried heating up the first cupel and it fell apart. These are homemade cupels that I made by buying bone ash and making my own. But anyway, so it should be plenty hot at this point. I'm going to bring it out here in a minute, and well, at least I'll open it up. I think I'll turn off the air, turn off the gas, open it up, or maybe I'll just open it up while it's going and see what it looks like. What is that doing in there? That is crazy. Oh, I think it's solder. All right, here we go. Okay, so earlier when I melted the material in the crucible, I had put my insulation all the way on top of the furnace, and just now I had a little bit of skew, because when it first starts, it wants to go out until it gets going well, until the furnace is heated up. And so it didn't look like it was totally melted in there. So I took the insulation and put it more firmly on top with a brick on top to hold it down, because the air wants to blow it out. And I think that poop, 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 poop sound you hear is the air kind of pushing the insulation up so it can escape a little bit, which is fine. One thing you have to really be careful of, the air pump that I'm using is plastic. The hose is plastic. It's going up to a metal pipe, which is going into the furnace. If I were to turn off the air first and not turn off the gas, then that heat would go right up the pipe and melt the pipe, the hose, right now. So what I gotta do is shut off the gas, or instead of turning off the air, pull the hose away from the, I don't have it, it's just loosely connected. I could pull it away from the metal tube. Pull it away from the metal tube and then shut it off. But I think shutting off the gas first and then pulling off the tube, yeah, something like that. So I'm going to give it a few more minutes to melt. But I haven't had a lot of luck with the cupels. I mean, the bone ash cupels, because to get the platinum out of your ore, you have a flux, and the flux is you put lead oxide in the flux with flour, baking flour. Those two react under the heat, and it becomes pure lead, and then the pure lead bonds to the other metal in the soup, if you will. And then the other fluxes, borax and well, there's 2 other ingredients. If there's any sand or whatever in the mixture, anyway, that becomes the slag. And then when you pour it into the cone mold, the metal drops to the bottom, the slag goes to the top. When it cools off, you can drop it out of the mold, and often when you drop the slug out of the mold, it splits apart. And that's the way it's supposed to ideally work. And then you take the metal, which is lead mixed with the other metals, you put it in the bone ash cupel, and you heat it up again. And what's supposed to happen is the lead is supposed to absorb into the bone ash, leaving just the other metal. But I haven't had that happen completely yet. I've always had a certain amount of lead left. I don't know if that's because I didn't heat it long enough, or hot enough, or use enough bone ash, but this time I know I used enough bone ash because I made them myself, and it's probably 3 times thicker than the bone ash cupels I bought online. Anyway, once I get the metal out of the bone ash cupel, then the next steps will probably be chemical assay, where I'll put it in nitric acid, and that should dissolve everything but the platinum. Then once you think you've done that enough, at least this is what I'm getting from the various YouTube videos I've watched. Once you do that enough, then you put it into aqua regia, and that will melt the platinum. And so then you pour off the liquid, pour it through a filter. You take that that liquid, and I think it's ammonium. I have it in the other room there. I think it's ammonium something. Ammonium chloride. You mix up some ammonium chloride in shoot, I'm gonna have to watch that video again. I'm not sure if it's water or acid you mix it up in. And you put that in the fluid, and then that ammonium chloride should interact, causing the platinum to drop out of solution. And then you dry that out, rinse it out, dry it out, melt it again, and that should be your pure platinum metal. At least that's what they say on YouTube. The last time I sent it, what I thought was platinum, into platinum recyclers, they said it was all lead. So it's a learning experience. It's, you know, it's fun to do. I'm going to go ahead and call it good, and take that crucible out of the furnace and put it over here to cool. Wow, that's interesting. That is very interesting. Huh. I got a lot of metal there, and I can't believe it's platinum. It's just too much. It's got to still be lead, and I don't understand why the cupels aren't absorbing the lead like they're supposed to. Got to do some research, try to figure that out. And I will sign off.